For parents, grandparents, guardians, listen up, because next week, San Diego Unified is hosting 2 community meetings to provide students and their families with critical information about human trafficking. These include recognizing warning signs and getting support services. And here to talk to us about these meetings and the issues at hand is from the San Diego Unified Office of Investigations, Compliance and Accountability, Mr. Carlos Rodriguez. Welcome to Good Morning San Diego. Thank you for dropping by.
Thanks for having me.
Human trafficking. We do a lot of stories, unfortunately, about how prevalent human trafficking is in San Diego, in this region. Talk to us about why the San Diego Unified School District is taking this step and holding community meetings for families.
Really, we do realize at San Diego Unified that this is an issue across the nation in California and here in San Diego. So really what we wanted to do is make sure that we had a clear and simple way for families and students to report if they had any concerns. So, and that's one of the reasons why we are having these meetings, is because we want to share with our community what the signs are and how to report these issues.
It really is a frightening topic for any parent, but it's so important to talk about and pass along this important information, right, to the parents, the adults, so that they convey that information to the kids. What are some of the warning signs, for example, when we talk about human trafficking? What does that look like today?
I think the biggest thing if you're concerned if your child is involved with something like that is to look for subtle changes. Look to see if there's maybe someone hanging around that isn't normally around, that maybe controlling. If they have additional devices, maybe money, where did this money come from? Gifts that they don't usually have. So those are some of the subtle things to look for.
Is it true that human trafficking for like a teenager, for example, can also look like having a new boyfriend, for example, and that boyfriend may be appearing to be more controlling? I hear information coming out from just different school districts about the concerns about young girls having these, new relationships, and that taking kind of a new life in a dangerous way.
Yes, it can be that way, and also it's not based on just one specific gender. There's trafficking for all for boys and girls, and different populations, vulnerable populations for our students. So we know we're actually very fortunate at San Diego Unified to have some subject matter experts from across the nation. In the past few years, San Diego Unified has hired people who are very aware of what these issues are, who've worked cases, prosecuted these cases. So we're very fortunate that we have them here at San Diego Unified to address this. So we know what the problem is, we know what to do, and that's why we're having these meetings, so we make sure that people know how to know what some of the signs are, and then know how to report them. So even if they're not totally sure, they can still report it to us, and we can get it to those who have the knowledge and the capacity to handle it. Is
your office seeing reports being made about potential human trafficking?
So far, we just launched things, so there are concerns come in. It doesn't mean that we can't really go into specifics about if there are, because of student privacy, as far as what has come in. But we have a website up, and there's a quick and easy form, so someone can go there and they can report if they have a concern. It may not always be human trafficking, but it could be something where a family or student needs some support, and then we've partnered with other people in the community that can provide them services, which can help minimize, because this is all about prevention. So if we can prevent someone from maybe becoming vulnerable or being put in a situation where they're uncomfortable, we want to make sure that we do that, because prevention's key.
And as a parent, I think that's important, because not every student may have that support at home. There may be more vulnerable students that may be lured a certain way. With 2 public meetings coming up, right? These are community meetings. They're happening next week. What would you like for our friends at home who are watching to know about these meetings? Who can participate? Is it anyone?
Anyone can participate, and it's going to be on the 18th and 19th at 5:30 to 7 at 2 different high schools, so University City High School and then Lincoln High School. It's open to anybody. We'll be there to answer any questions and to really say, these are some of the signs to look for, and then how to report it. And that's the biggest thing, is we wanted to create something where it's simple. You can report what concerns, if you have any. If you see something, reach out, make sure that we get the information, and then we can address it if it needs to be addressed.
Well, Carlos Rodriguez, thank you so much for coming by. Very important information, important meetings that are going to happen next week. Of course, we'll remind our friends at home who are watching us of those meetings when they happen next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.